Coming up on Look Today, a Saratoga Springs organization is seeking a new network of recovery centers in our region. Who will it help? I've got the details. Plus, Lake George School District cancels upcoming trip to Paris. And Chairman of the Warren County Board of Supervisors is appointed. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Well, tonight's program, I sit down with Anya Miraka. She's the Assistant Dean of Schenectady County Community College, and she's going to speak about the changing face of education. Really good interview. And we also sit down with a return guest, Michelle Smith. She's the Executive Director of the Children's Museum at Saratoga, and she's going to tell us about the upcoming events at the museum throughout this year. Well, plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, we've got these headline stories. In our lead story, a group of Saratoga Springs citizens have formed a prevention council seeking state funds for new recovery centers. The recovery centers will focus on heroin addiction, but will not be treatment facilities. These facilities will provide recovery support with educational and social programs for addicts. The group's idea is to have a center in Saratoga with satellite locations in Glens Falls and other neighboring communities. The Prevention Council is one of 6 other organizations to seek funds from the State Office of Alcoholism and Substance Services. The state will announce later this month who will receive the funding. Now, as of right now, the Recovery Center plans will depend on whether or not that funding is awarded. Changing from news to weather. It was another chilly winter day here. So let's see how the end of the week is shaping up and what the weekend is starting to look like. For the latest, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, Lake George school officials intend to cancel a trip to Paris. It's planned for March of 2016 due to safety concerns. Now, that's stemming from the November terrorist attacks. A meeting will be held tonight at the high school to vote on the ruling to suspend travel to Paris this year. Now, about 15 to 18 high school students were scheduled to take this trip through the Foreign Language Department. The department met with students and parents to discuss canceling, and everyone was very understanding. Well, all participants were reimbursed through travel companies, and plans have begun to visit Spain next year. In other news, well, Warren County Supervisor Kevin Garrity was appointed as chairperson of the Warren County Supervisors for his 4th consecutive year. Garrity unexpectedly faced a challenge, this time around to remain the board's leader. Fellow Supervisor Evelyn Wood announced Monday that she planned to challenge Garrity at a time when the board has been split along many issues. Several supervisors applauded Wood for giving them a choice. However, in the past, the board chairmanship was typically determined in closed-door meetings by a unanimous vote. Well, the process obviously was different this year. Garrity received 17 votes to Wood's 3. The majority of supervisors believe Garrity is committed to change, which opened up the lines of communication within the board. It's a good sign. Also in the news, plans for a new Saratoga Hospital medical office building are still being critiqued by the public. The City Council has yet to vote on the expansion, and therefore the public hearing is still open. Several residents have already voiced their concerns in hearings throughout the past month.
This is just a blatant attempt to see what they can get away with. The building is just a box plopped on the site with parking everywhere.
As we previously reported, the plan is to build a new medical office building, which would help consolidate patients and physicians in one place. The City Council would need to amend current residential zoning. Citizens' concerns range from traffic and safety to lack of transparency about the expansion process. And the hospital has revisited plans after hearing initial complaints about the size of the building. The hospital's project team has encouraged city dialogue and remains sensitive to public concerns. The City Council meeting we just taped has a lot of information about this. Check your local listings for air times this weekend. Well, still to come, we interview Anya Miraca. Now, she's the Assistant Dean of Schenectady County Community College. She discusses the changing face of education. Plus, we speak again to Michelle Smith. She's the Executive Director of the Children's Museum at Saratoga, and she's going to update us on what happened in 2015 and what's on slate for 2016. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, or join us for an interview, give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.